Nice meeting you. My name is Juan from Valiente Media. How are you? How is the team? We are all here very excited about Sunday, but how the team is doing?
Yeah, really good. We're excited to be here as well. It's nice to come to a new market in Canada and obviously showcase what we have not only as a league, but what we have internally as a team as well. I know a lot of the guys are helping out with the community right now and outreaching. From what we've heard, ticket sales have been great. So, the guys are looking forward to the match. Again, we're prepping it like any of our other normal away matches that we have. This is just, I guess, something new for the players being in a couple days early to help out with the promotion side of it.
What are the stories that the team has? What type of players are coming?
Yeah, we have a lot of great players. We have a lot of great history in the short history of CPL with Cavalry. We have guys from Chile, England, all over the place that are happy to come to a new market like Kelowna and see what it's about first and foremost, but they're also very happy to help grow the league. And I think that's the biggest thing coming to Kelowna, is showing that this league is capable of growing and that it can be sustainable here in Kelowna.
Calgary and Kelowna has a different weather. Is the team doing something different?
Yeah, right now I would say it's very comparable as far as the weather. It wouldn't change too much as far as climate or altitude for us, so we don't need to really take that into consideration. The only thing would be the travel. To get here, we arrived this morning with the whole team and staff, and we have our first training session this afternoon at Apple Bowl, so we'll be looking to get after it and have our normal match day -2.
What are the opportunities?
The growth for Western Canada, right? To have another team possibly within Kelowna means a team closer to us, which means maybe a bigger rivalry being in our neighboring province with Kelowna, which would be great. Also the attraction of the World Cup coming up next year, and the growth of football throughout the whole country is just the next step that we have, I think, in the progression with the CPL and this league.
Definitely, we are all very excited, and we really appreciate you guys coming and being able to connect with our community. So thank you very much.
Likewise, thank you.
We're still casting in media. Thanks for doing this with us.
Thank you.
I believe you guys are going to be playing on natural grass. Does that affect the game at all? Affect how you guys head into it? Any sort of differences there?
No, I mean, if anything, it's what we're used to back home in Calgary. We have natural grass in our stadium. We train on natural grass. But again, natural grass can be different in a lot of places depending on how it's taken care of, cut, rolled, the size of the pitch. So I don't think that it's much of an advantage either way. It is what it is, and it's a stadium that we'll have 2 days to train in, just like Vancouver. But I think a lot of players would rather play on natural grass if they had the choice, so it's a nice little touch for us.
What are your team's strengths, and how do you go into the game trying to best Vancouver this weekend?
Yeah, we're very resilient. We've been very proud of the guys about sticking to our process. Obviously, we had a bit of a slow start, but if you look at our history now in the league, we've gone unbeaten in 8, and we've really bought into the process, right? And that's where we said we're proud of the team and the guys that are really leaning into that. And now we're starting to see the fruition of that coming about and really sticking to that, our principles. We're seeing that more and more as the games go on now. So I think for the most part, we want to concentrate on ourselves. We know Vancouver is a tough opponent. We've played them a couple times already this year. They are a very aggressive team, front foot team, that they want to kind of stamp their philosophy in the game early on. I think they have one of the highest foul counts against us in games and play towards more of their set pieces. So that's something that we'll take into consideration. But at the end of the day, I think we stick to our principles and we can control what we can.
You said you haven't lost in 8 games.
Unbeaten in 8, yes.
Yeah, what does that do for your team's confidence, and is it important to kind of stay on an even keel, not to get too high or too low?
Yeah, 100%. We've been preaching a little bit brick by brick mentality, and it's just the next play, the next game that we're concentrated on. So right now, it's not about what happened, at home. It's what's going to happen in 2 days. And that's where our full focus is on. And, it's that cliche saying of we just concentrate on the next match or the next play, but that's exactly what we're doing with the team.
head coach away with a family emergency. I hope everything's okay. But in terms of your side of things, you kind of get to step up and be the head coach this weekend. Does that change anything for you? Any nerves going into?
You know what? We have an unbelievable process within the club and within our staff, so it doesn't change anything actually, which is nice. And I think everybody's very comfortable in their roles, players included. We just get on with our business.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Nick, just quickly, the game last week against Forge, not just beating them, but the way that you played over 90 minutes. How big a moment was that for you guys, especially after maybe you were a little frustrated with Pacific the week before?
I think it's exactly what we said about trusting the process. At some point, we were on the cusp of a very positive result, and I think, it came at a time where, the guys really stepped up and believed in that, and that's what happens when you have, the 11 players on the field, the 7 on the bench that really believe in the same process, is that you're going to have a moment like that, and that's exactly what it was that day, right? We beat Forge at home, and it was a great stepping stone for us to say, again, climb up the table a little bit, but to show everybody else that, this unbeaten streak is going.
Quickly, I just want to ask about Toby, because he scored last week.
Yeah.
He scored 3 goals against Vancouver already this year. Just how have you seen him kind of settling into this team and showing what kind of player he is?
Yeah, he's obviously settled in pretty quick. He loves it here. The guys respect him, and I think he's gotten along with them very well in the short time that he's been here. He's got an unbelievable personality and one of those players that is at his best when he's just free. And I think that, we're seeing the best of him now and we're getting the best out of him. Thank you.
Any questions for Nick on Zoom? No? Okay. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Juan Sotelo from Valiente Media. Nice meeting you. As captain, how have you been seeing the atmosphere and energy from the team about this Sunday?
It's been good. It's been really good. We've had a good start to our week in terms of the preparation. Like I said, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but we are preparing for the game in the same way we prepare for any other league game. If this was in Vancouver, we'd be doing obviously the same prep, but there's a little bit extra with again, this being in Kelowna and the opportunity of expansion and being in a new market and a new community. We know there's a role to play, as I mentioned, about being spokespeople of the league and this growth and of the sport. But ultimately, the energy amongst the team has been good. We're coming off a good result last week, and we're just preparing the same way we always would.
That's awesome. We're all very excited about this possible expansion here in Kelowna. And myself, coming from Mexico, I'm very familiar about the opportunities that this can bring to build community, to being a fan base. What would you think the people from Kelowna, how can help and support more to have these events happening?
I think this weekend is a fantastic opportunity, and full credit to both teams. I know the staff on both sides, and obviously the league. Lots of people have done a lot of work to make this a reality, and I think this is what it takes. It takes the engagement with the community. Like I said, I have teammates of mine as we speak that are engaging with schools and teams and meeting the community and being out with the people, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day. We get to play soccer for 90 minutes and enjoy this, but it really is about the growth of that next generation and that engagement with the people. That's what the sport, that's why we love it. We were just watching the Euros in there, and you see what it means to the fans, and although it might be on a smaller scale, that's what it's about. It's about that engagement with the community and just the love of the game. So I think everything that's going on this weekend leading up to the game has been really, really exciting. We hope to put on a good show for the fans, and we know the ticket sales have been going in the right direction. So we're just excited for what will be a fun game, and that ultimately hopefully leads to more growth of the sport here in Kelowna.
Oh yeah, I'm sure and confident about that. And just as a fun question, the Euro Cup start this week. What are your predictions, and if you can share your favorite team?
My heritage is Italian, so I'm always going to be cheering for Italy. If I had I'll say Italy because that's where my heart is. I don't know where my mind is. There's a lot of competition. This is an exciting tournament, and with Copa America as well. So I'm cheering for Italy, but there's a lot of good teams. France is up there, England's up there. I'm just excited for a very good tournament.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I got one more for you. captain and goalkeeper, what does it feel like to, sorry, I'm Braden, with Captain and News, sorry. Captain and goalkeeper, how does it feel to be in Kelowna? And yeah, what's it been like so far? I know it's a bit different for you guys, you've been here for a few days.
Yeah, well, you know, we actually just got in this morning. For us, for one, we're really excited. It's a great opportunity for us to play in a new market. Obviously, seeing the growth of the league and the potential of that is very exciting for everybody involved, players included. But ultimately, you know, for us, it's an away game. It would have been in Vancouver. It's in Kelowna, so it's something a little different. But you know, we're preparing for it the same way we always would. But again, there's a little bit extra with the community and whatnot, which is really exciting to be a part of.
Grass field at the Apple Bowl this weekend. Does that change anything for a goaltender?
Every field is slightly different, whether it's grass, turf. Obviously, the dimensions can be slightly different. Obviously, we get a couple days to train on it, so you get used to it as best as possible, and that's the same process we always have, right? Maybe whether it's one training session or two, you get a feel for it, and you know, that's what today will be before and tomorrow, and then it'll just be, again, usual prep as always for match day.
Obviously, big pressure on a goalkeeper in a big game, but what does your defense maybe have to do to take the pressure off you a little bit?
Again, I think it's, you know, for us, we've been undefeated for 8 games for a reason. You know, we've been for the most part very solid defensively. I think, but for a couple big moments where we've maybe conceded some wonder goals here and there as well. So for us, it's again the same preparation. We're definitely a unit, and that doesn't just mean the goalkeeper and the defenders. It means the whole team. We attack together, we defend together, and you know, we're still relatively early in the season and getting into that stride. And you know, for us, we take a lot of pride in that, in defending and not conceding goals, and we'll try to do the same thing this weekend.
What do you think the difference maker is going to be on Sunday?
I mean, again, it is at the end of the day for us a 90-minute game. It's the same thing. Obviously, we're really excited to be here in Kelowna. We know it's going to be a great atmosphere. But you know, we have our preparation as always. We know the strengths that Vancouver have. They're a very good team. But we have played them a couple times already, and we know, you know, they'll go in with the same mentality. They'll know what to expect from us. And at the end of the day, I think, as Nick talked about before, we will focus on our principles and how we want to play, and if we can go and do that, I think we'll get a good result.
Awesome. As the captain of the team, and this also being a bit of a chance to show what the league's about, maybe have a league expansion here one day, what are your responsibilities with the fans outside of the game? You know, maybe interacting, talking about the game, getting fans into it, anything different for the captain here?
Well, I think it's a responsibility for all of us as players. I've been in this league since day one, so it's always really exciting to see these expansion opportunities. As a local kid from Calgary, you know, seeing how much the league has already grown in the few short years we've been playing has been exceptional. Seeing the young players come out through the system, that was an opportunity I had when I was young, but now I'm, you know, reaping the benefits of it as a player. So we all have a responsibility to play. For me personally, it's about just encouraging those right things, but we're doing it as we speak. I think we have a lot of guys that are out in the community. We know there's been a lot of buzz and hype around this game and what expansion opportunity would be like in Kelowna, and it's really exciting. It's exciting for us as players, but it's also about this local community, the next generation of players, and where this league is, you know, not in 1 year or 5 years, but 10 and 20 years on the line. And that's really exciting to kind of be a bit of a spokesperson for in a way.
Is there any sort of plans to have fan interaction after the game? Is there going to be a chance for fans to get involved at all?
That's a question not for me. I'm not sure exactly what that will look like, but we're excited to play at a new venue in front of fans that it might, you know, for many of them most likely be their first CPL game, and we want to make it a show. And obviously that opportunity to interact with them after is always a lot of fun as a player. So look forward to whatever that is exactly. We look forward to doing it on Sunday.
Cool. That's it from me for questions. Thank you so much.
I can answer for him. There will be that opportunity.
Okay.
I was going to say yes, but I figured, yeah.
To kind of expand on some of that, I know you guys are having all sorts of events in the city, so you mentioned the school visits, things like that. What's it like to feel that kind of bit of a buzz, bit of extra excitement from a community that's kind of excited for you guys to be here?
It's really cool. Again, the preparation for us stays the same, but it almost feels like a special game, right? At the end of the day, it's 3 points on the line for both of us, and we'll approach it that same way. But I've heard that even as we got here in the last couple of days, people know about the game. They know what's going on. They're very excited about it. Again, I'm sure we have some soccer fans that don't really know what the CPL is all about yet, and this is just a super exciting opportunity to show them. So again, I think we have a responsibility as players to engage with the fans and ultimately put on, again, a good show on the weekend. But it's cool because there is that buzz, there's that excitement, and that just adds a little extra to the game.
Just one last one on the game itself. The performance against Forge last weekend, how satisfying was it to not just beat them, but to see that kind of 90-minute performance after maybe some frustration the week before?
Yeah, it was very satisfying. Obviously, 3 points is always good, and Forge is a very good team. And to play the way we did, I mean, that first and foremost was what we wanted to do, was just continue to play the right way and perform that right way. And again, to touch on what Nick said earlier, it was about sticking to those principles. And we knew, we were at a similar point last season where results weren't necessarily always going our way, but we just dug into what those principles were, and to see that come out after a 90-minute performance like that was a great boost of confidence for the team, and another reason to just carry on with those. So really good performance, really enjoyable game, and we'll just try to build off of it.
Thanks, Martin.
Any questions on Zoom? Zach, go ahead.
Marco, how's it going?
Hey, Zach, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Just a quick question for you. You've talked a lot about your duty and all this, right? We're players, we're trying to come here, expand the league and all that kind of stuff. I wonder if you could talk about maybe more from the player side and the development of the game in Canada. You're a young person who grew up and got developed, in Canada.
Yeah.
But then you had to go abroad to find first team opportunities, and then obviously came back at the start of the league. I wonder if you can talk about what it means to see this league grow and continue to aim to grow for the player development side of things, and as based on your experience as a player.
Yeah, that's a fantastic question, because I was very lucky, first and foremost, to have had that opportunity to stay in Canada as a young player when I joined the Whitecaps as a young, 14, 15 years old at the time. But if I was only a couple years older, that opportunity may have passed me by. And just to see the amount of growth that's happened between now and then for the development of the game for young players, it's incredible, right? If you asked me at that time would I be playing professionally in my hometown, I would have probably looked at you like you were crazy. But now it's become a very, very big part of the sporting culture in our city. But yeah, to go to what you're asking, I think the development is the key, right? Is that we can grow this league professionally, but it means so many more opportunities for young players, and that we're seeing that growth on not only the men's side but the women's side as well, and the growth of the sport in general is just super exciting. So this is another step in the right direction, and I think we really do have a duty and a responsibility as professionals now to think about what does that next generation look like, because we were all once those young players with those dreams and those aspirations, and if we can just continue to move that forward, again, where are we 10 years from now? I think it's a really exciting thing to think about, and this is just one step in that right direction.
Thank you so much, Marco. All the best tomorrow against Albania and in Kelowna.
Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, everybody.
Hi. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
From Valiente Media. Just for the people that is watching, they might haven't heard about the strategic expansion that you guys are planning. Could you share a little bit of that? What is the goal bringing this type of football, professional football?
Yeah, I think if when you look at, for example, NBA and NFL in the past, they've taken the competition in different countries in the world because they wanted fans around the world to see their sport real time and live. And I feel that this is a great strategy for our league, and it's a great strategy for football, that if we wanted to expand in different communities and kind of promote the game and grow the game, that we have to bring the game to the cities, to the people, so they can see it firsthand. So I think when people see a real football game live, and when they literally feel part of the match, it's a complete different feeling than you have when you see it on television. So it's a great strategy, and I'm really proud to be part of that.
Is this something as part of a plan for the World Cup being hosted in Canada?
Well, obviously, World Cup is part of the inception and the birth of this league to begin with. And for us to host the World Cup in Canada, we had to create a Premier League in Canada. So I believe they're all connected, and I believe as we get close to the World Cup and Canada hosts the World Cup, you will see more fans evolving and the game growing. And I personally witnessed that in the '94 World Cup in the United States. I was living in Southern California when the World Cup came to the United States, and Pasadena Rose Bowl was one of the venues. And after the World Cup, we see the byproduct of Major League Soccer and just a number of children that are playing soccer in America. And I believe the same will happen in Canada.
Yeah, I'm from Mexico, and soccer in Mexico is like the main sport. So we are very familiar with all those stories that can build around soccer, and we are very excited to have it here in Kelowna, very excited to have it here in Canada.
Great.
And for the people that is watching, can you share some of the names that your team has from Mexican players?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that. We have probably one of the top goal scorers in the history of the league in Alejandro Diaz. He was a product of Club America. He was brought up in Club America youth system and played in the second and the first team of Club America. He's one of the best professionals that I've coached, and I think he's one of the most clinical finishers that we have in the league. So I think the Mexican fans will maybe recognize his name and will come and support him and football. But we have a young Mexican player that's from Puma, which is another big club in Mexico. He was a top goal scorer in the youth department of Puma, played in the second team and played, I think, a few minutes for the first team. And he's a younger 21-year-old version of a I call him El Toro. He's just a very tough, strong striker for us. So I'm really excited to have both of them hopefully attract the Mexican fans to CPL.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the news about them getting into the team, it's already making a lot of attention in the social media and
Right.
in the media, so it's very exciting. Is there anything that we should expect for this Sunday?
A game that will be very, very physically demanding on the player side. I believe it will be a game that will be very close and tight. I think it will be a moving chess game, a very tactical game and at the same time. But I think one thing that will catch the eye of the fans is the spirit that both teams will bring to the match. There are a lot of winners on both sides, players that are winners, coaches that are winners, they all want to win. And that, in my opinion, will create a great fixture, an exciting game.
Awesome. Well, we are very excited and looking forward for this Saturday. Thank you very much.
Me too, thank you.
Awesome. Nice to meet you. My name's
Nice to
Braden
meet you.
Castanet. Thanks for coming out. Just want to ask what it feels like to be
I don't know.
in
I can't
Kelowna. The
afford
day
this.
is finally right around the corner. Must be a lot of excitement.
Well, I was fortunate enough to visit this community and this city of Kelowna, and I was so impressed with its beauty and the hospitality. For me, I'm humbled by the reception and by the goodwill that I felt from the mayor to everyone in the city. So we're excited to be part of something special to help grow the game in Canada, and I feel that my staff, my players, are very much rolled up their sleeve. My players were all over the city working with kids in their schools. My staff and I were moving things out of U-Haul trucks and trying to make sure we have a great event. So it's a really important moment for football and soccer in Canada, and for us to be part of it, and we'll remember it, I think, forever and ever.
Thank you. What can people expect? What level of kind of soccer can they expect when they take the field on Sunday for fans here in Kelowna?
Yeah. I think the CPL is Premier League of football in Canada. There are some fantastic veteran players combined with foreign players and upcoming international stars that are Canadians that are have found a pathway through CPL to really live their dream and play their passion. The level is, I've worked in 8 different countries, and I was not sure what to expect, but as I'm now worked in this league, it's my 2nd season, I'm quite impressed with the level. It's the games are exciting. There's a lot of tempo, and I think for us that anytime we get on natural grass, you're going to see a little bit more enthusiasm and pace and quality. So I think they'll be impressed with the level.
Is there any sort of players people should look out for? Any stars that are going to be taking the field, or like you said, maybe any local Canadians fans can keep an eye on?
I think, to be honest, it's there's so much parity in between the teams and between all the players. We have some very exciting young players like Grady McDonald, TJ Taid, that are rising stars of Canadian football. James Cameron was one of our players that we had to send to the Canadian under-20. These are all local boys from BC. We have veteran players that are international players like, for example, Renan Garcia. He's 37 years old and fitter than most of our players in the league. We have veterans like Callum Irvin and also Ben Fisk that are also local players that have played in this league for many years. But I believe that in each game we see different players rise to the different level, and I believe that in this particular game we'll have maybe different heroes than normally.
Cool. What makes Kelowna the right spot to give this a whole test about league expansion?
I think first of all, the geographic. You have a city that is a sports city. It's a city that is very much attracts the tourism from all over the world. The weather, the beauty. I think all the hotels and restaurants. I think it's I've heard there's 7,000 children that play soccer in this community. So I do believe that this is a fantastic city, and it'll be a city that once they, I think, witness this game, they'll realize how exciting it will be to have a professional team in their city.
What would you say to someone who maybe is thinking about checking out the soccer, that's never maybe been to a professional event of this level? And yeah.
I still remember I took my many years ago. I took my brother-in-law to a game in Amsterdam, and it was a game between Ajax of Amsterdam and Dortmund, and he had never been in a European professional football game ever in his life, and he was not a soccer fan. To be honest, he was a nerd. So, but he sat in the stadium, and when the game started, and he heard the roars and the speed of the game, and he looked at me, had goosebumps, and I could see the excitement in his eyes. Said, "This is so exciting." So I think the game is contagious. It's a game that combines science, art, athleticism, teamwork. There's so many factors in the game that it's attractive, and that's why the game is the #1 sport in the world. And I think over 100 countries can say this is their national game.
There's been a bit of a buzz around the city about this event coming up. What is the league hoping to see on the field in order for this to be a success? What do the fans got to bring to show that support? I
think it's for me it's organic. Fans come, and if they see something they like, they're going to cheer. I think fans when they see the tempo of a football game, when they see the fight, when they see the spirit of players wanting to win, that's I think just will kind of flow through the veins of every fan, and once one fan is excited, the fan next to him gets excited, and I think it goes on, and it's a domino effect.
Can you talk to me about the rivalry these two teams have, and what it's going to take to come up with a win on Sunday?
I think Cavalry is one of the most established and most successful teams in the league. We're the new kids in the block. We're growing, we're improving with each passing game, and I feel that we haven't been very successful against them, but I believe that this season we have a team that can actually be champions. So we feel that if we want to be the new kid in the block that can challenge trophies, we have to win these kind of games. So our players really up for the challenge, and they want to change the history of this rivalry that's kind of exists in the two teams in the west part of Canada.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just one quick thing on the game itself. You guys are pretty familiar with Cavalry. You've seen it twice this year. What did you learn from those two past meetings this year that you maybe need to correct this time?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, our players were more naive in both games. I feel that their gamesmanship is better than ours. The experience that they have has been better than ours. I feel that in both games we could have the result could have been different. But the moments that we have to be flawless, we made mistakes, and the moments that we have to be precise, we were not precise. I do believe that we're a much better team than we were before. We have improved in the defensive phase of the match. We are also, in my opinion, are more mature as a group, and we've seen that now in the 2 away games, one at Forge, one at even at York. So and even the loss against Valor, we played a really good football match. So the performance, in my opinion, with the exception of a couple of errors, were very good. So I believe they're also growing. They were not getting results even though they played consistently well. So I think it's going to be a great game. They just won their last game against Forge. I think we're in good form also, and our injured players have come back. So we think that we're going to have a deeper team this weekend than before.
Are you able to share any of those injured players that are coming back?
Well, Rocco is back. He's training and he's at full fit. Chung had a very small injury, but he's back. So, and Ba was injured with an ankle injury. He's back. So I think we're almost at full force.
Any questions on Zoom? No? Oh, okay. We've got one. Go ahead. Please just unmute your mic.
Hi. So I was curious, how has the Apple Bowl been looking, as it's not a typical soccer-specific stadium? And is there any differences, particularly from playing on a grass pitch to your home pitch and artificial turf?
Your first part of your question, I think I have to give enormous credit to the maintenance of the groundskeepers. I went and visited them this morning. They did an amazing job. They've literally have cut the pitch to a standard that's very top level. It's almost like a manicured golf pitch. So I think the ball is going to travel very, very well. The size of the length is international level. The width is also within the FIFA rules, but it's a little bit narrower than I think both teams would like to have, which will kind of create a higher, more physical and a higher tempo game, because I believe that there will be very little space in the pitch and players will be in constant duels, which will make a very nice spectacle. The second part of your question, I believe that I'm an old-fashioned. I'm 40 years in this industry in football. Natural grass for me is always. I prefer natural grass over artificial any day of the week. Partly because you get a natural bounce, you get more speed. I think depending on the type of the grass and how low it's cut, you get different speed of the ball, and I think players feel more comfortable. So I do believe the game on natural grass is more attractive and better.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks, Afshin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
My name is Juan. I'm from Valiente Media. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much for receiving us. We're very excited about Sunday. How have you been preparing, and is there anything different that you are planning to do this Sunday?
No, nothing different. I think it's the first time I've been on a away trip, 3 days, 4 days before actually playing. That's the only difference, but the preparation is the same. I'm sure the training is going to be the same. So yeah, it's just another game. It's a league game. It's not like a World Cup final where you have to prepare maybe a little bit different. It's still just a league game. Obviously, it's a big one, and we've got to put a show on for the fans. But that's every week.
Yeah, being that this is kind of like a chance for the league to maybe expand, do you guys enter the game in any sort of different way? Do you want to put on a bigger show, or is it just go out there and find the win however you can?
I think as a player, if you look at it that way, it's pretty selfish, because you're probably going to go into the game thinking about yourself or about Kelowna when your objective is to win. So I would say no.
Just in regard to the same question, I know that it's not the plan right now, but in the event that Kelowna had a professional team, would you be open to relocate to Kelowna, and why?
Yeah. Well, it's a hard question to answer because I'm a VSC player. But all I can say is I love the city. I love smaller cities. That's all I'll say about that.
And lastly, just as a fun question, what do you rather, the ocean or the lake?
That's a good question. I think every day, lake. But I think I love beaches. I love sand, but then sand every day is just annoying. So I'd say lake.
That's awesome. Well, in Kelowna, we have less rain. So.
Then Vancouver?
Then in Vancouver.
Then I'm coming.
That's awesome. Well, thank you very much. We're very excited about seeing you on Sunday.
What's it like to be in Kelowna and the excitement ahead of this big opportunity for the league and for your guys' team?
Being in Kelowna, I've been here a couple times now, shooting content and for this game, so it's very exciting. It reminds me of home a lot, being around the lakes, the water, the beaches, even though the beaches here aren't that good. But yeah, there's a lot of excitement around the game. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about it, but I'm just ready for the game now. I just want to play Sunday.
Awesome. What kind of game do you bring to the pitch, and what should people be looking out for when they see you out there?
A lot of energy, probably a bit fiery. I would say those two, energy and fire.
Your coach said you guys haven't had the best of maybe luck against Calgary. What's it going to maybe take to shift that tide and find a win on Sunday?
We're working on some things in training, and I think going into the game, remembering everything that we've worked on and sticking to the game plan. I think in every game, luck is involved, but also you have to create your own luck. So as long as we stick to our game plan and work hard, I'm sure a result will come.
Thank you.
Charlie, anything?
I'm all good.
Any questions on Zoom for Moses? No? Okay.
Perfect, thanks.
Thank you,